Welcome back to Midnight Suns, where I have to respond to Nico's message. R. Alright, Hunter, you there? By the way, this is Nico. In case nobody gave you the rundown on how the spark works, Blade and Cap Marvel just filled us in. Freaky stuff. Especially Faustus. And then they all just left me here alone. You should come hang out. Nico, get a hint. Uh-huh.
Good. You answered. Getting hard to keep finding ways to say open door around here. And despite what Robbie says, I don't think the staff of One speaks High Elven. Blood magic stuff. Cool room. Spacious. Aw, is that bed for Charlie?
Yes.
So, if you're planning on giving me some sort of brooding code of the stoic warrior speech, I'm immune. Just ask Blader Magic. From what I just saw out there, whatever crazy ancient living weapon stuff Caretaker put you through back in the day did a real number on you. We got a lot of work to do.
Work?
Yeah, talking to people, making friends, basic human stuff. Or quasi-human. You're a Midnight Sun now. One of us.
Nico, I was just Hydra bombed. I could use some rest.
You and me both. Been bad dreams every night for me lately. I, keep seeing Wanda. She... Never mind.
I will meet you outside.
Yes! I'll go nuke us some popcorn and you pick out a movie. Oh, and it may just be the two of us. The others went outside, needed to cool off. Really need to hang a fan over that forge. Or maybe crack open the casket of ancient wonders a little?
These missions can't be good for Caretaker's blood pressure. That's... Something tells me you don't have a favorite movie. Well, we can start you out with one of my favorites.
So, join a hangout is what I'm supposed to do?
I can wait.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Alright, watching a movie.
I know this entire situation's gotta suck for you. Not just the whole resurrected, chosen one thing. I get why facing Lilith won't be easy. I was 15 when I found out my mother was capital E evil.
Sorry to hear you went through that.
It was bad, but I learned to deal with it. It's the only way forward, right? Look, I'm glad my mother is gone, but yeah, at times I just want to hear her voice again. Some days I'd give anything to make that happen. Makes me hate her even more.
Lilith gave birth to me, but Caretaker was my true mother.
Right, so your adoptive mom raised you to kill your birth mom. You'll fit in perfectly. Enough about our crappy parents. You missed out on decades of good movies. It's my solemn duty to fill this knowledge gap with the best examples I can provide. So, the first thing you need to know, the glowing briefcase is a metaphor. I really needed that. So, what did you think of the movie?
I understood more than I should.
How? You've been dead for 3 centuries.
I'm not so sure I was dead. Not exactly. I recall a deep slumber, not the void. I dreamt.
Of what?
Of everything. Much of this world is familiar to me. I know it from my dreams.
That's not creepy at all. So, do you know everything?
No, Think of it like this. I know what a car is, but I have no idea how to drive.
You're up to date, but not omniscient. Then I'm guessing you don't know much about me.
Just what you shared earlier.
You're always free to ask. Like, what's the Staff of One? Or who were the Runaways?
I had some questions about your old team.
The Runaways? Sure thing.
Were you all heroes who banded together?
No, we were normal kids. We saw each other once a year when our parents got together to reminisce. And then we found out two very disturbing things. First, our parents were supervillains who sacrificed children to evil gods. Second, each of us had some sort of powerful birthright. Our parents wanted us to follow in their footsteps.
What did you do?
We ran, but eventually we realized only the six of us could stop our parents and their dark gods, so we faced them and stopped them from destroying reality as we know it. You know, typical kid stuff.
Who was on the team?
At first, Chase with his mad science gear, Molly, our pint-sized powerhouse, Carolina, the solar-powered sweetheart. Gert had a telepathic link to Old Lace, a genetically engineered Deinonychus from the 87th century. I handled the blood magic, though I didn't understand it much. And Alex, well, we don't talk about Alex.
Where are your friends now?
Molly attends Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Carolina left Earth to marry alien nobility. Gert, she didn't make it. After Gert passed, Chase and I had a falling out. The last I heard, he and Old Lace are living at his family home in LA. As for Alex, he chose his side, and it wasn't ours. He died with our parents.
I had some questions about your staff.
Sure. But first, the basics. The Staff of One interprets words or phrases as spells, but it can only cast a spell once. No repeats.
If each magical effect is unique, do you worry you will run out of words?
Not really. I only use the staff's power when I truly need it. The rest of the time, I rely on more conventional means. Like, you know, magic.
I had some questions about your staff.
Go for it.
Can you tell me how the Staff of One functions?
It's, blood magic, so my own blood is required to summon it. You wouldn't believe how many adhesive bandages I go through each year.
What about the words you speak?
They come true. Kind of. And not always the way I expect. It's like making a wish, but you can never make the same wish again.
I should get going.
Good timing. Looks like Caretaker wants to speak with you, and wow, I should get to bed. Time flies when you're hanging out.
I'm glad. Looks like you're finding your way around. Maybe making some new friends.
I was planning on getting some rest, but...
Things are moving at a frantic pace. For all we know, I'll be landing a jet on the roof with Mr. Stark this afternoon. Not quite like it was in the good old days.
I remember many sleepless nights and blood-soaked days. Always on the hunt.
I'll give you that. But there were times back then I wouldn't trade for anything. With both you and...
Agatha? Where is Agatha?
I am sorry. I should have had this talk with you much sooner. But you should know... Agatha... She's no longer with us.
What? That is impossible. She was so...
Fierce. Indomitable. Or maybe just kind to a fault.
The loss could not have been easy for you.
Thank you for that. But it's not just my loss. It's all of ours. And what makes this loss even harder to accept is that it was completely avoidable. Agatha died in an accident caused by her protege, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. The Midnight Sun's latest recruit, a powerful spellcaster in her own right. Perhaps the most powerful Agatha and I had ever seen. Wanda's abilities were growing. Too quickly for my liking. Agatha was determined to help her control them. I tried to caution her, but she would not listen. There was an incident. An accident, I'm sure, but...
Agatha was killed.
Yes, incinerated in an instant. Not even ash to remember her by. The others were heartbroken, as was I. But I also saw the danger, the threat, if Wanda's powers were left unchecked. So I did what needed to be done. I sent Wanda away, to the Sanctum Sanctorum, to study under Doctor Strange. I know the others still harbor a great deal of resentment towards me for it.
Wanda's powers were so out of control they cost a life. Your decision may have saved lives, if not the entire Abbey.
I like to believe that, especially given her current situation. Wanda, Agatha, it seems we have lost them both now. I conjured a small shrine to Agatha's memory on the grounds, hoping to find some solace, a way to move forward. You should pay your respects. Maybe you'll find what I couldn't. Good night, Hunter.
My dogs are always asking to go out. But speaking of dogs, come on, Charlie.
Agatha?
You always did have the most remarkable eyes, Hunter. Just like your mother's. Maybe that's why you're the first.
The first?
To commune with the spirits, of course.
Is this a trick of some kind? Because I am not amused.
No, it's no trick, dear. You're just the first to see me. By now you've heard I had a bit of trouble with my corporeal body. I actually find it quite liberating.
You are dead.
Always straight to the heart of things. That's my Hunter.
You seem strangely at ease about this whole thing.
After 1,000 years of living, you learn to take things in stride. Even death.
And what have you been doing all this time?
Meet me by the cave just over there. You know the one.
The Bloodgate? Caretaker always told me to stay away from that place.
I think we can safely lift the veil on a few more of our secrets. What's the worst that can happen? Ominous-looking portal is known as a Blood Gate, and you're the only one among us who can pass through it.
Bloodgate? Caretaker's handiwork?
Yes, Sarah got a little overprotective after the accident with Wanda. It's become something of a habit for her.
I have noticed that.
What lies beyond is meant for you as much as it ever was for her. Assuming you're up to the challenge, that is.
You know I am.
I do. But it's always polite to ask.
Ominous indeed.
There was a time when the blood stood within these celestial halls to prove their worth. This particular arena belongs to a goddess who often favored Sarah, Ashtor.
Sarah, caretaker, was here?
Nothing ever comes easy, dear. The Elder Gods felt their descendants needed to earn their blessings, which is why they created these trials to begin with.
Trials? I should have known.
This entire realm exists for that purpose. Trial by combat, with no chance of outside interference. Yes, but I may have found a loophole they never considered. Why don't you try summoning your four-legged friend?
Charlie?
The old gods are responsible for a great many creations, including your faithful companion. I think even they tend to forget that. Good luck, dear. As the goddess of balance and order, Ashtor was sometimes called the giver of justice. You can expect a fair fight, or at least her idea of one.
Are these all minions? I think so.
Now that was something. You were too weak for this fight. I can handle it.
Gotcha.
I am impressed. Leave some for the rest of us.
Uh,
Girl, Charlie. Oh, and you too, Hunter. You finished this trial, but don't worry. The other gods are waiting.
feels like a 3-star. Okay, Oster's Gifts allows magical locks and gates to be opened. Open will allow you to access new areas in the Abbey and its grounds, which are locked.
Sarah is right to be wary of this place. But it's your birthright, and I think after everything you've been through, you can handle it now. The two of you, as well as your mother, are the last of your kind, the Blood. Your lineage follows an unbroken line to the old gods themselves. And if you call upon them, you might just find they're actually listening. They won't work miracles for you, but their blessings can be quite useful in the right circumstance. Why don't you ask the goddess Ashtor for her aid in dealing with that barrier over there?
I mean, you gotta look behind the thing.
The goddess of order approves.
After all this time, it's still just as beautiful as the first time I laid eyes on it. It's hard to believe Lilith and Caretaker brought this place all the way from Transia. Of course, it was no coincidence that they wound up so close to Salem. This area is particularly attuned to the forces of magic. That's why the Elder God's influence was so prevalent here. And why our sanctuary here has remained all but impregnable over the centuries. And now I'm rambling on like an old sorcerer supreme. Why don't you come see me in the library tomorrow night? Oh, and let's keep this just between the two of us for now. I'm afraid Sarah, Caretaker, isn't ready to see me yet. Good night, Hunter.
Good girl, Charlie.
Good job in battle.
on. Hunter, please come to the forge at your earliest convenience. Again, that's Hunter to the forge. Thank you. Strange out.
Alright, well, I'm gonna run around looking for essence. I'll be right back. Alright, so I remembered this was over here.
Oshter smiles upon me.
What? Alright, time to keep looking. Alright, found another thingy.
She believes in our purpose.
This looks like a basic one. Chicken mushroom. Alright, Domino knows the way in which the wheel will turn and shows the answer in the playing card she displays. This card presents luck and good fortune, along with the opportunity in the future. Okay, time to keep wandering. I'm sorry so many times today, I might as well say it here too. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened out there. Agatha and I train at her altar all the time, but something was different. Somehow, this time I lost control. Agatha could have been hurt, and it would have been my fault. Damn, I need to figure this stuff out. Caretaker isn't looking at me the same. Agatha makes it look so easy, and I just make everything harder. We'll find a way to draw the elemental energy back to the altar, and we'll try again. We always do. P.S. Somehow, I broke the cauldron too. Wasn't even in the library today. My favorite days are those with Agatha. She even talks more than Sarah sometimes. But it doesn't feel like a drawling lecture. She's always smiling and her face lights up when she tells me about all the plants, trees, and mushrooms that we can come across. I never thought I would find myself excited to share the healing properties of moonflowers or dryad saddles. Agatha tells me that one day knowing these will come in handy, but for now it's just fun to learn them. Death stands before the black vortex, surrounded by the prized infinity stones, tempting us with possibility. This card represents transformation and entering a new phase in one's life. I've also found some other hangouts while I'm up here. Okay, I guess I can lounge by the pool. Huh, okay.
I needed that. It is one of the elemental rods.
Barely a stone at all. This blue-black topaz almost seeps through the fingers when held. It smells strongly of a tide pool. And if held to the ear, sounds like the sea. Alright.
Hunter. Caretaker's never exactly been bubbly, but the last couple of months, she's been in a real bad mood.
Oh, this is only for upgrading. How do I change my cards again? With the forge? I already read this one, right? FBI. Alright, Mystery Eyeball invades Canada. A massive cluster of marine life resembling an eyeball washed up on the shores of the British Columbia. The never-seen-before life forms, measuring 6 feet in diameter, were sent to a lab for further testing. Blade, they are missing the point, which is, where there's a giant eyeball, there's a giant thing missing the giant eyeball. Alright, I think it's finally time to hit the forge.
Hunter, just in time. His royal weirdness and I were deciding what to do with that nasty little Hydra gift box you found.
Ah, yes. The spooky crate.
The very one. Though it is far from any mere container, I assure you. I am detecting powerful emanations from inside. If this is a sign of what Hydra is after, I fear we are all in grave danger.
My offer still stands. I could fly the thing up and nuke it in orbit. Only way to be sure.
Or we could open it, Tony, and perhaps use the mystical energies I sense inside to our advantage.
Yeah, I heard a "we" in there. Green goopy gamma serums are one thing. I'm not opening boxes full of mummy curses.
You don't have to. Hunter, if you'll allow me.
Your second funeral, boss.
Anything else in here? Alright, Moon Knight hides his true identity behind his cloak and shadow. This card represents deception, but also creativity and the unconscious.
Fascinating. Intriguing.
Nova rises up into the starry night sky, surrounded by stars that represent the support of his team. This card symbolizes serenity and hope for the future.
Whatever artifact is inside, it's better off in our hands. If Hydra is now working to acquire mystical antiquities, then our situation is very dire indeed. We need to find a way to gain the upper hand.
And you think you can do it with whatever is in the container?
Tony has one of the greatest scientific minds that I've ever seen. I, of course, have an unparalleled understanding of the mystic arts. I have no doubt that we can find a way to research whatever we find in there and have it work in our favor. I just wonder what it could be.
Honestly, I haven't decided if I want to go with light and dark. Ah, fuck it, let's go dark.
I would be highly suspicious of anything that Hydra has had in its possession. My advice would be to do what Tony says. Destroy whatever is in there immediately.
With all due respect, Hunter, that would be short-sighted and foolish. For one thing, it's very, very hard to dispose of magical items. The repercussions are sometimes unexpected. Besides, I need all the magical items I can get.
And why is that?
Right now, with the sanctum out of my reach, I'm fighting with one hand tied behind my back. Metaphorically, that is. If I can find items to research, I can give the Midnight Suns every possible advantage over Lilith and her disciples.
I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Me too, Hunter. Now, all this talk is going nowhere unless we can get this container open and study what's inside. Approach the anvil, Hunter. We do not have time to spare. How may the Sorcerer Supreme assist you? By the hoary hosts of Hoggoth, I can hardly believe it.
What? Is it worse than you expected?
No, it's totally unexpected. It's the Eternity Dagger. This was in a place of honor in my bedchamber in the Sanctum for years. The Sanctum Sanctorum is no common domicile to be burglared. These barbarians have no idea what they possessed.
Or perhaps they did. Maybe these artifacts are exactly what Faustus and my mother were after to begin with.
A distressing thought. If they had my dagger, then who knows what others of my priceless possessions have passed through their greedy fingers. The Cube of Nothingness. The Tear of Profia, and most worrisome of all.
Your toothbrush? You, had a little coffee thing going on this morning with your breath?
Oh, Tony.
Sorry. Doc's right, Hunter. I drank 3 glasses of holy water just to walk through the Sanctum's front door. Place is like a doomsday vault for all sorts of supernatural nastiness. We need to put a lid on this mess. Pronto.
I believe Carol is already working on it.
At last. Now that this artifact has been returned to its proper owner, we shall see if we can make use of the mystic forces contained within. To be fair, it does look interesting, at least.
Research projects take 1 day to complete, but grant powerful rewards. Alright. Craft powerful single-use combat items. Increase ability options and earn an additional ability when analyzing gamma coils. Spend moves to knock back enemies in combat. Well, I don't have the schematic.
Welcome to Tony's Scary Demon Cave. I'm Tony, and how may I assist you today? What do you think?
Okay, Dark Heal. Cure Hunter takes 17 damage. Alright. Target has block plus 32 damage. Plus 10 damage if they're targeting her. Oof. It generates heroism.
Big Tony's Forge of Mystery.
I don't know. I might want to go light side. This costs, but he already costs a lot. Let's grab this.
The research is progressing well. Good day, Hunter.
Oh, there it is. Oh, so I don't have to have 4. Alright, let's give up a photon beam for a Fist of Radiance. These will generate heroism, so will these, and so will this. And I can salvage. I might want to keep this and upgrade. Can't really. Maybe this one's shinier. Oh, bomber jacket's kind of cool. Oh, we have to. Nah, I'm not ready to buy it.
Hey, Hunter. Got a sec to spare?
You've been here more in the past few days than I have since ever. The forge is pretty badass, but the creature trapped inside riles up my own inner demon. Speaking of, there's something you should know about me.
You are bonded with the spirit of vengeance?
Damn, you're good. How could you tell?
You are not the first spirit of vengeance to join the Midnight Suns. I fought beside another just a few days... 3 centuries ago.
Oh man, sometimes when I have crap to work through, I like to get my blood pumping. Why don't we hit the yard for a sparring session? I know Sparky's excited to meet you.
Sparky?
That's what I call my spirit of vengeance. His real name is something you'd see written on a symbol, but with like 12 apostrophes. Also, he's not allowed inside after the incident with caretaker Sumerian Sofa.
It would be my honor to spar with a spirit of vengeance.
Wow, he's real excited. Never thought he'd get bouncy, but here we are. Okay, let's do this. I'll get Blake to set things up. Won't take a minute.
I will head to the yard. When you and Sparky trade places, what does he look like?
He's the guy with the flaming metal skull and hellfire chains. Kinda hard to miss.
But I swear there was an epic chest around here somewhere. I'm gonna wander around. Found the fire rod. Not sure whose room this is.
That is...
Sweet. Alright, electrical energy erupts around Thor as he wields Mjolnir. This card represents a great courage in taking control of one's own destiny. I swear there was a better crate around here. Whatever, let's open one. Alright, common face sigil.
Bad guys better start running.
Hey.
Like playing with fire, huh?
Okay, so we get friendship for that. Extra redraws.
Time to take it to the next level.
Okay, increased width. Yeah, let's do it. I like Captain Marvel.
Report to the war room. We've got a mission.
Hey. You called for me, Captain?
Keep telling ya, Carol works too, but yeah, I did. Now that Tony's finally starting to get a handle on his gremlin problem, I've been able to put Central to good use. Got a lead on some particularly gnarly Hydra operations happening in the city. But we need to move fast if we want to intercept them in time.
Then let us get going.
My thoughts exactly. There's just one problem, though. We seem to have lost our gatekeeper, Magic.
Lost?
Well, I updated her on the mission. She said something I can only assume to be a prolific swear word in Russian and disappeared. Literally. And with no magic...
There is no passage to New York. Or anywhere, for that matter.
Now you see my problem.
Do not worry, Captain. I will locate and alert her of the team's needs.
There's that can-do, get-it-done, old-timey prophesied savior of humanity attitude I was hoping to see today. Still, you better hurry. Not sure how long Hydra will remain in their current position.
Then I shall make haste.
Yes, you hasten as much as you can, Hunter.
It's not necessary to say Carol. This is my room.
This room belonged to the Scarlet Witch, did it not?
Wanda. It belongs to Wanda. Let me guess. You are to ask me to do the one thing the others value me for. Opening their precious portal. Well, I am in the middle of something. Come back later.
It is never easy to lose a comrade. I know this too well.
We did not lose Wanda. We let her go. Before any of this started. Wanda's first grimoire. Agatha gave it to her when she was teaching her witchcraft, the dark arts. She was trying to help Wanda control her powers. She would never let me read it. So now I read it.
I do not suppose there are any spells in there that will banish Lilith and save the world.
Hard to say. These incantations appear to have been written for Wanda alone. Maybe a world without Wanda is one we are not meant to save. I know what she's going through. To come face to face with true evil itself. To be dragged to some hell dimension so hot that your soul is scorched black. Your heart so filled with soot that it chokes out all the bright parts of you. Until you are just a dark thing of smoke and ash. I cannot let such a fate happen to her.
My mother is not known for her mercy. You should prepare yourself.
Prepare myself?
Oh.
I used to rule Limbo. A place where the word mercy doesn't even exist. Besides, Wanda is far more powerful than I ever was. She will survive.
And yet you give up on her every minute we delay our fight.
Okay. I will open your damn portal. It is times such as this that I wish someone else here could drill holes through space and time. Perhaps Doctor Strange should spend less time tinkering with Tony Stark in the Forge and focus more on his magic. No matter. I will be there when you are ready, Hunter. Goodbye.
Well, I guess we can't go below 0. I was trying to avoid pissing her off. I knew that she likes dark options. But I guess it's time to go.
I take it you found our gatekeeper. Then let me explain what's going on. When Hydra isn't preoccupied with world-ending scenarios, they spend a lot of their free time terrorizing the citizens of New York through various low-level operations. It's fairly routine stuff for heroes these days, and worst case, we'll still get some fresh intel in the process. Why don't you check the mirror table and see what we've got on our plate?
Okay, but we will do that next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.